Hi friends, welcome back. In this section we are going to cover logging with Python. Okay, so I have this simple script here that is a simple calculator. Okay, it is nothing, just it is an add function, a sub function, and also mul for multiplication. So let's move to this website, which is docs.python.org, how-to logging.html. It is the documentation for logging, okay, with Python. So right in here, it will tell you what is logging, okay, means. It says that logging is a means of tracking event that happen when some software runs. The software developer add logging calls to their code to indicate that certain events have occurred. Okay, so perfect. And also it says that when to use the logging, okay? And also the good information here is that in Python we have these five methods that we can use them for debugging, for info, warning, error, and also the critical. Okay, so later we will cover them all step by step, so you will be able to learn them all. But right now let's come down here, and right here it gives you these little information, but very informative, very good, so you could understand what is each of them means. So for debug, we're using these when details information and also typically of interest only when diagnosing problem. Okay, and also for info we're using this time. Okay, for warning this, for error this. Okay, you have time, you can read this. Okay, but me not. And also the good information is here. The default level is warning. Okay, by default it is warning, which means that only event of this level and above will be tracked unless the logging package is configured to do otherwise. So by default means it is going to be executed if it is not configured to do, for example, the info or the debug or error. Okay, so this logging is just like simple printing something, some text into the console. But in logging, we are going to record this console. That means we are going to put this thing, this informative data into a separate file, for example, so later people come and watch what happened to their software and track that. Okay, track the event. So that is good. Here let me come back here. As you see, I called this method. Okay, and here you see that I am using print method for all of them. Now let me execute this and you will see that only one result, which is 6. Okay, that we call this right here. So how can we use logging in Python? So in Python, the logging already come when you install the Python programming language. So that means you already have it. So you just need to import it. So let me use import logging, and that is here. So it is a package, I think. And in here, instead of print, as you see, we printed that and it gives me the result. Now instead of print, let's use logging. Okay, dot. Here you see we have all this debug that we will be covering later, warning, info, logs, and also the other one, critical, something like that. So let's go with the default one, which was warning. Okay, now let me execute this and you will see the result here, that it gives me a red color warning and give me the result. So as you see now that it is just working like print statement, but it is a little different because it gives you the warning, it gives you this, which is a root right now. Later we will cover, I will talk about this, what is this means, and also give you the result. Okay, and also we have all others. Let me print them all here. For example, we are going to use logging.debug here, and what is the next one? It is going to be, for example, logging.info, and like this. For example, right now we have these three. Let's execute this again and see what is going to be happened. And that I haven't called the method yet. Let me call the subtraction, give two number here, for example 4 and 2. The next one is going to be add method 3 and 4. So now when I execute this, while we're using print statement, it must give me 3 result. But while using logging, which has right now we are using these 3 methods like debug, info, and also warning. Let's see what do we have. Okay, again, when I execute this, still you see I have only 1 result here. So what does that mean? That means this info and debug right now, it is not, or they are not printing anything into the console. Okay, so let's move for the next one, which was, I think, critical. Okay, let's use this one. Okay, as you see, the critical is giving me something. And also, what was the other one? Let me come here. So it was error. Okay, 1 2 3 4 and 5. We use debug, info, warning, and it is time for error. So let's go for error. Now let's run it, and you can see that it is giving me. So the things which is very important for you to learn from this lecture is that you need to know we have 5 methods for handling logging in Python, and those 2, which was info and debug, is not right now is not printing something into the console. And also this warning method is the default while we are not using, or while we are not debugging, or while we are not configuring these to be critical or error. So by default it is warning. And this 3 is printing the result into the console. So we can see that one of them is warning, the next one is error, the next one is critical. So also from this documentation, you'll see what is debug means, what is info, and also warning and error, and also critical. And also, as you see here, we have too many examples here that we can use them. Okay, how can we log into a file something? So we will be covering them in maybe in this section or into our test automation framework section. So don't be worried about them. If we cover it in this section, so good. If not, so we will be covering them in the other section. So you will learn this logging perfectly. Okay, so I will see you in the next lecture with another tutorial.